Mike Shank, we're halfway through the 2023 season. You're standing here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course on a Friday before qualifying on Saturday for the Honda Indy 200. What kind of mood are you in? What kind of mood is this team in?
Well, we've had a tough year. We started out great at the Rolex 24 winning that, but on the IndyCar side, we have had a really tough year. We're just not getting the performance that we hope for at this point. It's not the end of the world kind of stuff, but enough that it's got our attention on. And we're trying to look at every stone and make sure we're doing everything we can to perform.
Yeah. And what does that portend, I guess, for the future of this team from the standpoint
Well, listen, at the end of the day, it's my job to make sure we get results. And when we're not getting, we got to look at everything. And I mean everything. So we're doing that right now so that we can finish as high as we can in the points this year and then try to kind of put it back together for next year. So going forward, we will look at every department on the team.
Yeah, and you've got two drivers actually on this team that have won here, for example.
Yeah.
Granted, they're older drivers, but I mean, do you think your drivers are performing up to your expectations?
Let me say this. I think all of us have left something on the table this year. Our drivers are very, very good. And I think we've let them down a couple times. They've let us down a couple times. So it's not one-sided thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you put groups of people together and it just doesn't work. You got to figure out why. And that's kind of where we're at.
And this whole series, everybody's scrapping for an extra 2 or 3 tenths of a second, which makes a hell of a difference in qualifying and obviously in the race and stuff. But that is what we're talking about, right? It's fine line stuff.
This series is unlike anything else in the world. There is no way you can be a tenth off and expect, or two tenths of a second and expect to be competitive. And I've never seen the level of commitment the driver has to have, the team has to have, to get any kind of reasonable result. I mean, there used to be, you could count on 10 guys that would be a lap down or struggle or something. There's just not that anymore.
Yeah.
It is the most intense series in the world with regard to performance in all ranges. So, we got to adjust to that. We got to bend to that.
Yeah, and real quick in that regard, usually there is no snap of the finger fix for when you're in the middle of a season like this, right? Because everybody else is trying to improve too, even the front runners,
right?
Of
course, everyone is, and we've had decent runs this year. We just haven't finished it. So we need to complete the job here and get some performance back where we deserve to be.
And one of the last questions: what's the first year you ever came to this racetrack? Do you remember the year?
Yeah,
I saw some photos floating around.
In the 70s sometime, late 70s, I would say.
Were you here in 80 when they ran the first real IndyCar race here?
Johnny Rutherford.
Johnny Rutherford?
Yeah.
It's amazing. This is going to be the 40th IndyCar race here, which is second only to Indianapolis Motor Speedway for number of IndyCar races.
Yeah.
What does it say about this place, I guess?
Well, obviously it matters. Mid-Ohio is a historically significant track, and I'm lucky that it's my home track, but I think it matters on the schedule, and I'm glad to see the big crowds we get coming out here to support it. I always will. I'm always here for the track. If they need anything from me, I'd always do it for them. So I'd love to own it someday. love to own the track someday. So that may be my graceful exit from racing maybe someday.